So we've still got a little bit of a free agency period upon us, and I did get a brand new microphone, so I wanted to show it off on the Artem NBA channel. Of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by this time next year. So 500 subscribers by the end of the next NBA season would be a pretty fun little goal. And I wanted to talk about them because there's still some pretty big names on this board. I think there could be some pretty fun moves still to happen. But I do think a lot of them are probably at this point relatively obvious. Now, James Harden, I think he's just going to go back to the Cavs. I think he's going to get paid a pretty good amount of money from the Cavs to return back. Of course, he did opt out and not sign an extension to obviously lure LeBron to come over, and then he could maybe take a pay cut in that regard, but didn't quite end up happening that way. Draymond Green, I think he is just going to go back to the Warriors. There's rumors regarding a $25 million per year deal, which is a lot for Draymond, but I guess the Warriors are just signing their guys to kind of keep the team around, and I can understand that. I can respect that, because at the end of the day, I know the Warriors is Stephen Curry, and that's kind of it, really. I do also think at the same time, though, you know, Draymond Green is part of that. You know, it was the Splash Brothers, it's Draymond Green, so it kind of makes sense to try and keep Steph and Draymond together, really, to kind of keep the team sort of together, you know what I'm saying? Peyton Watson, I just don't think that there's any team in the league that needs Peyton Watson more than the Nuggets, who he is a restricted free agent for. And I know that the Bulls were interested in Watson. I know a lot of teams were interested in Watson. I just think at this point, you know, what teams are still available to pay Watson what he wants? And I know that the Nuggets don't have that much space. I think haven't OKC made an offer as well on Watson, and that's really putting the Nuggets under a bit of crunch, potentially to have to trade someone, get rid of someone to make something happen. I'm not too sure if that was for Watson, but I know that OKC is definitely playing a few strings around the league at the moment to put some pressure down. They've just got a great front office there. But Benedict Mathurin is a restricted free agent for the Clippers. Honestly, not sure. To be honest, honestly not sure. I think that he probably will just go back to the Clippers. But this is where it gets fun, guys. DeMar DeRozan could go back to the Raptors. Does he go back? Does he hang out with the boy Kawhi? Is Kawhi going back to the Raptors? Who even knows at that point, because that's still being investigated. But I think DeMar DeRozan's either going to go to the Raptors, and if he's not going to go to the Raptors, I think that DeMar DeRozan is going to end up signing with the Miami Heat. I think that Bradley Beal is pretty locked in to be going to the Miami Heat. I think that makes a lot of sense. No one really knows what Jonathan Kuminga is trying to do. Jonathan Kuminga seemed to be like a backup potential for people that couldn't get LeBron. So, you know, I was going to say the Golden State Warriors are going to try and bring him back. I think definitely not. But, you know, I think Kuminga could kind of fit alongside younger teams. But Kuminga just seems like a guy that just confuses me a lot, because I think he and his team overvalue him a lot. Maybe they think he's better than he is. Maybe Kuminga thinks he's a star player when he's more so a role player than anything. Seems like every team he's been on, there's been a little bit of drama. I think that returning to the Hawks would make sense for Jonathan Kuminga. Does he want to take that role, though? Maybe not. There's been a lot of teams that have kind of been reaching out. Of course, the teams that didn't get into the LeBron sweepstakes, like maybe the Timberwolves take a chance on him. But once again, Kuminga wants a lot of money. This is kind of a big problem they're running into now. So yeah, I'm interested to see where Kuminga goes. He might go to the Heat, but I don't think so. I think the Heat's like a landing zone for all the unks. I think that's going to be an unction now that Giannis has gone there, because I think that Westbrook is pretty good chance of him signing to a minimum and going to the Heat. Why is Nick Batum still in the fourth quarter? I don't know. Nick Batum's probably at this point now, which he's pretty old. He's a good veteran maybe for a younger team, so maybe he goes to the Bucks or something and kind of be a mentor for the young team, or maybe goes to the Nets or something. I know he's a 76ers legend. I use that term lightly, but we'll see. Gary Payton II, I don't know. Nick Richards, I don't really know. What team kind of needs him? A lot of teams need him, really. Maybe honestly, the 76ers kind of need him. But yeah, I don't really know what happens with Nick Richards. But Mario Hezonja was an interesting sort of character I wanted to bring up, because of course he's been a Portland Trailblazers legend before, and he is a power forward. And you know what team really needs a power forward? The Minnesota Timberwolves. This guy's been absolutely smashing it over in Europe. He's been getting all these big titles and things recently. Been making big things happen. And I think he's going to come back. You know, he's been smashing in the Greek League, which is maybe Giannis connections. I don't know, but he's been absolutely smoking it over in Europe. And I think he's going to come over. Usually when these European guys come over, they end up playing for either a really, really good team or a really, really bad team, is kind of what I've noticed. Like the Sacramento Kings could be a Hezonja guy, a Hezonja team. I think Hezonja's going to the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves need a power forward. I think Hezonja could be that guy. I don't know a lot about Hezonja, I'm going to be honest with you, but I'm just looking at the position. I'm looking at what they need, and I'm thinking, Hezonja, that's you, mate. With that being said, let me know what you think about that in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.